Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to Stef ABtv. Behind me is the brand new Cupra Born, a car that originally started its life as a bit of a concept. In this video, I'm going to take you out for a bit of a drive, talk to you about the car, and let's see what it's all about.
All right, so we're in the Cupra Born. I feel quite privileged actually to have a go in this because UK cars are not coming until, I think it's like early 2022. So whilst I'm actually here for the Extreme E as a guest of Cupra, they had one of these Borns lying around. I was like, hey, I need to have a go at one of these. So yeah, let's first talk about what this car is to look at, because for me, this is a really, really good looking car. I really like it. I think what Cupra do very, very well is that bronze and blue combo. I think it just works. I think it's brilliant. And as you can see with the Cupra Born, you've got kind of the bronze wheels, you've got the bronze Cupra badges, and it just contrasts so nicely against the blue. And that kind of follows suit with the interior. And bearing in mind that one of these that's going to start from around about £31,000, at 31 and a half. I mean, I don't know the final UK pricing, but that's what they were kind of initially positioned at. I think it feels quite premium in here. You know, there's a lot of Alcantara in here. You've got kind of leather feeling here. The materials don't feel cheap, which I think is just a great thing. Now, in terms of the drive, let's see, performance. It's got reasonable punch. So there are 3 stages of Cupra Born that you can opt for, different battery sizes. I think you can get a 45 kilowatt hour battery, which equates to about 145 brake horsepower in the car. The one I'm in right now is the mid-range one, which is a 58 kilowatt hour battery, I believe. And then the top of the range Born is a 77 kilowatt hour battery, which equates to around about 250 brake horsepower. Now, when you throw in range, it differs again depending on the battery you go for. The lower end of the battery scale will get you a range of 200 miles, whereas the top of the range 77 kilowatt hour battery will get you closer to 330 miles, which is really good going if you ask me. Now, in terms of the comfort, like I said, this thing is on 20-inch wheels, so you'd expect it to be quite harsh in its ride, but actually I am flowing over these undulations, I'm flowing over these little bumps in the road, and it feels really nicely set up. You know, in terms of kind of throwing it around, it doesn't feel to be much body roll. I'm going to tack a couple of corners in a second now as well. But as you can see, I feel that this is actually a really good little platform. The other great thing with obviously EVs in general, and this Born is no different, is that you've got a kind of center mounted battery, so you have a much better center of gravity. Right, let's do a little quick acceleration test from 0. I've got no one behind me, so we can see what this feels like in terms of punch. Off we go. It's pretty nippy, a little bit slow to get off the mark if I'm being completely honest, but it's 200 horsepower, so you've got to take that into account. But once it gets moving, once it stretches its legs a bit, it does have some good kind of mid-range punch. Really, that instant power is there. And you'd expect that from all EVs because you don't have to worry about being in the right part of the power band. As you can hear there, Cupra, unfortunately for me, still have this horrible lane assist. I really dislike it. Lane assist for me is one of the first things that you should turn off, although this is all set in Italian right now because I'm based in Italy and I don't really know where that is. But the lane assist is really intrusive. In terms of its handling, it feels really nice, I'm not gonna lie. And as I said, 20-inch wheels, it really takes all of these bumps in its stride. It's a super comfy ride. What about brakes? Let's have a look. Brakes are a bit average. The brake pedal is really soft. Actually, that's a really soft pedal. Oh, wow. Yeah, so you really have to put the anchors down on the brake pedal, but once you get used to it, it's fine. What about interior comfort? What, you know, while I'm sitting here right now, well, I've got a really nice kind of little center display here. It's actually quite, you know, it's not massive, if I'm honest with you. It's probably about the size of my iPhone screen, but it gives me all the information that I need. It's not, you know, an overload of kind of data. But then I've got this huge, what looks like a 14-inch maybe, 14-inch TFT screen with everything on there. And actually, once you get used to this screen, I'm sure it's really, really good. But for me, if you've got an iPhone or an Android, you're just going to learn Apple CarPlay, which this does have as standard. The interior premium kind of keeps going. As I say, all these kind of materials feel great. You've got plenty of storage space in here. We do get wireless charging in here and a load more storage space there too. overall, as a utility vehicle, as a kind of nippy, punchy little thing that you want to take on a daily commute, you can't go wrong. Loads of boot space. Rear seat space is very good. The height for someone in the back of the car is also really good. So as a whole, I think this is a great little thing. The funny thing as well is the more I drive EVs, the more I'm getting used to them. And I think as time goes on, the charging network will just get better. It will have to get better, otherwise it's going to be horrendous, because there'll be more EVs than actual charging networks. But I think that as far as EVs go so far, I think from a looks perspective and just as an overall package, I really do like this Cupra Born. I think, like I said, I think it looks better than the ID3. I think it's got some really nice lines to it. That coupled with the styling, the Cupra styling, just makes this a really pleasant car to drive. I mean, I'm enjoying every moment of this. And like I said, handling, I quite enjoy. I think it's got, yeah, it's got good balance to it as well. Look, this isn't going to be a supercar. It's no Audi RS e-tron GT or a Tesla Model S performance. However, I'll tell you what, that brake pedal is actually quite bad. That's probably one of the downsides, I think, of this car, is the brake pedal. You really have to put your foot down, which is a shame because the rest of the car actually feels quite nice to drive. The seating position as a driver, again, these seats are extremely comfortable. I'll happily do as many miles as I can before my battery runs out in this. Super comfy, you can probably do long distance in this, but I'm not necessarily sure EVs are positioned for long distances yet, because whilst this might have a book value of, you know, the higher battery, 300 odd miles of range, I think that will deplete relatively quickly if you're pressing on a little bit. But yeah, look, what are my final thoughts on the Cupra Born? I haven't got much time with it, so this is a bit of a speed review, so do bear with me, guys. But in terms of my overall initial impressions of this thing, I really like it. I genuinely really like it. In fact, what I like the most of it is the way you can throw this around a corner. It just feels so nice. It wallows along the corners. The comfort levels are great. It has good balance to it. The brakes are not great, if I'm honest with you. But the party piece for me is just the way this thing looks. It looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video on the Cupra Born. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all very soon on the next video. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.